हेलो बच्चों, कैसे आप सभी। आई होप जैसे कि मैं रोज बोलती हूँ, फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट रिमाइंडर, यू आर लुकिंग एट योर मेन सिलेबस. Second thing, you are solving previous year question paper, and whatever you read from your newspaper, you are connecting with the main syllabus and trying to understand what to read, and most important, what to not read from the newspaper. So with this little bit of reminder every which I give you without fail, so that you don't forget to do what is required the most, let's begin our daily newspaper analysis. I welcome you all to the DNA of Tathastu-ICS, and then let's take the first article. And the first article that we just need to look at, and I am showing this article to you because this can come in prelims test or prelims stage of examination. App Sakhi. App Sakhi is brought by ISRO, and it has been developed by ISRO for the assistance of Gaganyaan crew. Okay, so Sakhi app, just mark, has been developed by ISRO to assist Gaganyaan crew, and nothing to be read more about it, just know for prelims perspective it is a PT pointer. And then the second article on editorial page that is needed to be discussed in detail is about women, the domestic violence and the mental health and related issues they face when they leave the home because of those violence and issues they face back at home. Then with this, if you look at your syllabus, main syllabus, this will come under GS paper 1, social issues particularly related to women. Okay, so if you read the article name, this is violence, homelessness and women's mental health. Women who face violence back at home or domestic violence, they leave home, they face homelessness and they develop mental health issues as well. That is what has been explained. The dynamics of the three has been explained in the article. Let's read the first paragraph, which has been mentioned with help of a data released by National Family Health Survey that says that it presents a sobering picture of a pervasive violence against women in India. Almost 30% of women, so this data is important for you, almost 30% of women between the ages of 18 to 49 years have experienced physical violence beginning at the age of 15. 6% reported sexual violence. Evidence indicates that violence and mental health conditions have a reciprocal cause and effect relationship, and both factors significantly heighten the risk of homelessness. So what does it mean? That mental health condition have a reciprocal cause and effect relationship, and both factors significantly heighten the risk of homelessness. So women who face sexual violence or any form of violence back at home by their spouses or anybody else at the home, they develop mental health conditions and they leave home, because of which they go into spiral effect, they go into a kind of vicious cycle where they face various kinds of violence outside their homes. So this has been in detail discussed in the article. Let's deconstruct the article with the help of the information put in a categorically simplified manner, which I have tried to bring it here. So what is the context? The context starts with a National Family Health Service data that we read just now, and then what is the relevance of the findings. If you read the relevance of the finding, it says that there is an interplay of violence, mental health and homelessness. A significant proportion of women in India experience physical and sexual violence with subsequent mental health conditions. So women who face physical and sexual violence, they develop mental health conditions often leading to homelessness. So they leave the home to avoid such violences. And then studies corroborate the complex relationship between violence against women, mental health issues and homelessness. There is a very complex relationship between the three factors. Then personal narratives. This is nothing, no extra content I have brought. This has been taken from the article only, nothing new. Okay. The second point which has been mentioned in the article is personal narratives and impact. Let's read what does this say. That conditions of homelessness often stems from traumatic experiences of violence within familial or intimate relationship. These narratives shed light on the profound impact of childhood trauma, intimate partner violence and societal marginalization on individual mental health and housing stability. So the narrative about the personal attack they go through back at home, these are all having impact. And what is the impact? They develop mental health condition and there is a marginalization of the individual, particularly the woman. Madness as resistance and coping mechanism. You might have seen that women exhibit the symptoms of madness, and in this point it has been said that madness, they develop these symptoms, this madness kind of condition to cope up with this kind of stress or the violence they face back at home. This is just a coping mechanism. That is the third point which has been highlighted. And further, it says, the article brings up some solutions and policy implications. Read this: addressing such structural barriers. So what could be the solution? The solution is to address the structural barriers. What are the structural barriers? Solutions to combat violence against women necessitates a multifaceted approach. There has to be a multifaceted, multi-dimensional approach which can bring a solution to such problems related to women, including recognition of unpaid labor, creation of supportive networks. There has a supportive network, mental, when anything comes up related to mental health condition, supportive network works for every situation. So this point you can always mention. And economic empowerment through access to basic income and housing. So first point is about structural barriers. Second is educational interventions, embedding gender sensitive curriculum in education system. So if from the beginning itself children or the kids are taught about being sensitive towards opposite genders, this can bring another solution. So embedding gender sensitive curriculum in the education system since the beginning can challenge harmful gender norms and foster egalitarian values. Egalitarian means equal values. The men should feel that they are equal to women, and women should feel that they are equal to men, and they should treat each other as equals, not something, some like one gender can dominate the other. If this kind of sensitivity is instilled in the children, in the kids from the beginning itself, by bringing such sensitivity, such curriculum since in the schools in the beginning itself, this might bring a bigger solution as well. Then inclusive research and policy development. A holistic approach to addressing homelessness, mental health and violence against women requires diverse perspective, innovative research and meaningful involvement of individuals with lived experiences. So it says that research has to be brought, those research has to bring in public domain, and the awareness should be increased about all these situations, and this could be also another solution. So in this article there is a mention about violence, and then because of violence the women leave the home, they go through homelessness, and on the streets as well they face various kinds of abuses, violences against them. So it's kind of a it sets in a vicious cycle against the women, and then they developed mental health conditions also. It says that sometimes madness is developed, such symptoms are developed too as a coping mechanism. These are the problems which has been mentioned. There's a data of National Family Health Survey as well, which you need to mug up, and this could be handy for you to write any answer when it comes to women and violence against them. And then there has been some solutions and way forward that has been mentioned. Let's look at a question which you can practice. How do issues of, look at the question. Let's say there's a question with the surrounding this article. How do issues of housing and homelessness impact social justice, and how can we work to address this? So you can start in introduction with National Family Health Survey data, and you can show what is the condition. That's how it is called as contextual introduction. And then in main body you can mention about the problems of violence, homelessness, and then various kinds of violence that women face outside their homes, and then the solution that we saw in 3-4 points through the article discussion itself. So that's how you can deal with this question easily if you have read and understood this article. And then the third article that is needed to be read in today's newspaper is the MIRB leap that press up India's nuclear deterrence. In few days before, in the DNA of few days before, we had gone through in detail about MIRV technology, Agni 5 missiles, all the variants of Agni missiles, and then we had looked up some questions, previous year question papers as well, and we had gone through some practice questions as well. We did this topic in detail. There is nothing to be read in this article today, but few points we will be looking at about MIRV technology, the significance of this, and we will look at some question also. Before that, let's see what is given in the article just at a glance. Though MIRV technology is not new, it is to India. So it says that MIRV technology is not new. Some of the countries already had this technology, but for India it is new. The 5 designated nuclear weapon states, which are the countries which already had MIRV technology, which India recently had joined? It is United States, Russia, People's Republic of China, France and United Kingdom. So these are the countries which already had MIRV technology. Now this club has been joined by India by developing MIRV technology. Alright, and the next point which you need to look at is MIRV tipped missiles are necessity simply because they strike multiple targets simultaneously and help evade ballistic missile defenses. So this is the some of the this is the benefit, this is the significance of MIRV tipped missiles. And then the next point that you need to read from this article is this one. Ballistic missile defenses paired to a growing Chinese nuclear arsenal would have significantly eroded India's nuclear striking power, as it would bequeath to China as a strong damage limitation capability, especially if Chinese were to carry out a nuclear test strike against India. It's nothing, simply it's saying that China already had such capability and it could have caused a heavy havoc, would have caused a heavy pressure on India, because India did not have such technology. Now India also has such technology, so such kind of threat has been neutralized now when we talk about India and China relationship. Then the next point, look at this line. MIRV based missiles can only strike multiple targets that are within its ambit or geographic footprints. So it is nothing. Now we are looking at the challenges or the limitation of MIRV technology. We did look at the significances. Now we are looking at challenges of or the limitations of MIRV technology. Limitations of MIRV technology. Alright, so this is the limitation of MIRV technology. Read again. MIRV based missile can only strike multiple targets that are within its range. So only it can strike only the targets which are within its range or geographic footprints. With the recent Agni 5 tests, India has met these demanding technical requirements. In India's case, this MIRV development is all the more significant and impressive because it has come against considerable odds stacked against the country's missile and nuclear engineering. So it has caused many challenges and India could develop MIRV based missile technology. Alright, then let's look at the MIRV technology in detail for our simpler understanding. So what is MIRV technology? Inception, MIRV technology, when did it originate? It originated in United States with the deployment of MIRV weird or intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM in 1970. So we read the same thing in the article that MIRV technology is not new, but it is new to India. Some of the countries already had it. When it originated in 1970 by the United States itself. MIRV allows a single missile to carry multiple warheads. So a single missile can carry multiple warheads. This is the benefit or significance of MIRV technology, each capable of targeting different locations independently. We will look at the picture how different warheads can be shot by one missile, and it can shoot at different targets located at geographically at different locations. So MIRV technology enhances the missile's effectiveness by increasing the number of potential targets it can engage. Okay, then look at this picture. It will make you to understand MIRV technology clearer. The last point, MIRVs can be launched from both land-based platforms and sea-based platforms. So this is important for you for prelims perspective. It can be launched both from land and sea-based platforms. Please note it down, such as submarines, expanding their operational flexibility and range. Look at this picture. One missile, many warheads. What if you look at the normal missiles? Normal missiles can only shoot one warhead. And look at the MIRV missile, multiple warheads. These are the multiple warheads, and if it is shoot, look at this. This is how various warheads can target different locations or different target points, like this. When this missile shoot the warheads at different locations, it can strike the targets differently. So each re-entry vehicle can be independently targeted. They are all launched from one missile. So one missile, many warheads and many targets can be targeted at one point from one missile itself. And then as we looked at the strategic significance, let's deconstruct and understand what is the strategic significance of MIRV technology. MIRVs were initially designed to enhance effective capability, offensive capabilities rather than defeat ballistic missile defenses. So it is offensive, not defensive. One point, it is offensive, not defensive. The second is ability to deploy multiple warheads independently. So multiple warheads can be deployed independently, makes them significantly more challenging to defend against compared to traditional missiles. So traditional missiles can target one and can shoot one warhead at a time. It can shoot many warheads at a time and can target many targets at a time. And then what are the challenges? One challenge we did look at from the article itself. Let's look at more challenges which are there in MIRV technology. The first one is deploying MIRV technology presents complex challenges. What are the challenges? Including miniaturization of warheads. The warheads has to be miniaturized is one challenge. Development of advanced guidance system is the second. Third is ensuring the reliability of individual re-entry vehicles. These are not limitations, these are challenges while using MIRV based technology in missiles. What is the second? Addressing these challenges is crucial for maintaining the effectiveness and reliability of MIRV system in strategic operations. If you have to look at the questions, what kind of questions can come from this article or MIRV technology? We already had seen questions on Agni-5 missile which uses MIRV technology, and we had looked at various variants of Agni missiles and what were the significance, what were the specifications of each Agni missile. Alright, now let's look at some of the questions which can be based on MIRV technology. The first is, read this question. The third one we will be discussing the approach, but look at the first and second question. While MIRV offers deterrence, are there any potential drawbacks to India possessing this technology? So drawbacks that we did look at in the previous discussion, the same things you have to write in this article, in this question. Okay, so you have to start with the specification of MIRV technology. You can draw the picture also, and then in the main body, the drawbacks or the limitations, the challenges that we did discuss, you have to mention the same. In the question second, developing advanced weaponry like MIRV missile requires significant resources. How might this impact India's sending to other national security priorities or social progress? Here you have to write the significance. Okay, significance of the MIRV missiles. So the same topic, two different kind of questions. One, you have to mention the challenges. In another, you have to mention the significances. Then third question, third kind of questions. What is multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle, MIRV technology? So the first part of the question is about MIRV technology. You have to mention in introduction what is MIRV technology, the specification of MIRV technology simply. And in the second part, mission Divyastra marks a very important milestone in India's march towards greater geostrategic role and capabilities. Discuss. 150 words, 10 marker. If you have to solve this question, what should be your approach? By the way, we will be uploading this content, this PPT on Telegram channel of Tathastu-ICS Current Affairs, and we'll be providing you a link in the YouTube video, under the YouTube video today. You can always access these content, no need to write down, just listen to this session and the discussion, understand the articles. The written content will be available on Telegram channel, you can download from there. Okay, so yes, continuing, look at the approach. What should be the approach of this question? So in the context, like when we were discussing another article and we were discussing a question based on this article, I did tell you that one of the ways to start an introduction is an contextual introduction. What is a contextual introduction? Like you can mention some data, current affairs or anything related to that particular issue which is in news. So that is a context that you can mention in introduction. So in this question, what should be a contextual introduction? This you can write in introduction, like begin with giving context of Agni-5. So you can mention about Agni-5 and mission Divyastra, that is in news. And what is the context? Under context, this was in news because Prime Minister announced the development of mission Divyastra, an indigenously developed landmark weapon system that alters the country's geopolitical and strategic position and significantly changes the situation in Southeast Asia. That was the headline, that was the content of the article previously in the newspaper that we had gone through in detail in DNA. And what is the key demand of the question? Understand the key demand of the question. You have to write about MIRV technology and significance of mission Divyastra, under which MIRV technology Agni 5 was developed. Okay. If you talk about the main body, like directive words, what are the directive words? If you could read, discuss. This is called a directive word. Discuss, analyze, enumerate, critically examine, examine. These are the directive words, and these directive words give you a glimpse or give you direction that how you have to write the answer of that particular question. There are many YouTube videos available that you can go through, which has explained the difference between these directive words that you can understand from there, and accordingly you have to write the answer. Here you have to, when it comes to discussion, you have to write about the particular issue first as an introduction, then you have to write the significance and then challenges also, way forward if possible, and conclusion. This should be the way while you answer a question related to directive words like discuss. Okay. So what is the how should be the structure? In introduction, as I said, you have to write about Agni 5 and mission Divyastra. In the body, what you need to write is, because it was about MIRV technology, you have to write in detail about MIRV technology, and then next you have to write about, as I said, importance of mission Divyastra, Agni 5 as well, advancement, how it is going to help India, has strategic deterrence, demonstration of India's technology prowess, and places it among a select group of nations with MIRV capability. And then in conclusion, you have to write about the importance, in different words, the importance of all over MIRV technology in Agni 5, mission Divyastra, etc. So this should be the approach of this question. The next is the next article that you need to read today is all eyes are now on the Indian Ocean region. So this article is about the shift of the attention from Pacific region to Indian Ocean region. Why? Because the Pacific region, especially the Suez Canal, which was thwarted by the Houthi attacks, now the attention is towards Indian Ocean region. The trade, the route has been diverted from Suez Canal to Indian Ocean region from Cape of South, Cape of Good. Then now the international trade is shifted towards that route. That is why this article has come up. Look at some of the points that you need to focus. There are two mapping activity. You have to open your map and mark these areas like Agalega Island. Where is Agalega Island? Please put this into your map, find out in your map and mark it as a region. Djibouti, Kyofu, Gwadar and Hambantota. This is the region you have to mark in your map and remember. This is how you do your mapping work. You students always ask mapping kaise karna hai. So whenever there is any region which has been mentioned in the article, please open your map and mark then and there. That is how you do your mapping work. There is a phrase that can itself become a question. Please read this phrase from this article, the very first paragraph. When danger deepens, the immediate neighborhood matters more than distant shores. So this is talking about that India has shifted its attention from Indo-Pacific to Indian Ocean region. Indian Ocean region is our neighborhood. Indo-Pacific is far. So that is what it is referring to, that when danger deepens, the immediate neighborhood matters more than the distant shores. So this is what is about this article. Read the last paragraph. India's other options. The government has other options too. First, India needs to convey what is other options other than focusing on Indian Ocean region. So the first is India needs to convey a clear message to its strategic partners that while it is conscious of Indo-Pacific responsibilities, it prioritizes the Indian Ocean region. Second, though the focus had been shifted, the message also has to be clear that we are focusing on Indian Ocean region more now. The second, a critical audit of Indian Ocean Rim Association and the Colombo Security Conclave CSE. So further in the article, the writer has suggested some of the more groupings that could come up and the countries that could come up and form those groupings, which is not important for you. You don't need to focus on that because it's just a suggestive by the author, by the writer. It is not to be memorized. In this this is nothing but I have deconstructed the entire article and put in a proper format for you to be read easily. That is like, you know, what is the context of the article? The context of the article is that India's policy focus shifts back to Indian Ocean amid escalating tensions in the region, marking a departure from its previous emphasis on the Indo-Pacific that we already saw, and that is this write-up is nothing but simplified and deconstructed form of the article that you always say that पेपर पढ़ने में बहुत टफ लगता है, कैसे पढ़ें. सो इस तरीके से अगर मैंने रख दिया है, अगर आप पढ़ोगे तो आर्टिकल इजीली समझ में आ जाएगा. तो नेक्स्ट में जो आर्टिकल में मेंशन हुआ है कि देयर इज अ पॉलिसी शिफ्ट. व्हाट इज द पॉलिसी शिफ्ट? Maldives China relationship. Due to the effect of Maldives China relationship, India has shifted its policy, you know, direction. And the second point is there is a geostrategic significance. Both the Western Indian Ocean and the Northern Indian Ocean witnesses increased activity impacting regional dynamics. The Israel-Hamas conflict regionalizes, affecting international shipping through Suez Canal. That we already did discuss. So further, India's response and options, strategic partnership, regional mechanisms, and strengthening naval power. These are some of the suggestions that has been mentioned in the article. You can read from here. I have put it in simplified and easy manner. Look at this map and see the direction. So there is a data in the article that majority of the international trade is now passing through the Cape of Good Hope, you know. So if you see the article, like, so the international trade is diverting away from Indo-Pacific. Look at the directions. So here it is India, and look at the direction of from the Arabian Sea. You can see Cape of Good Hope, and then it is going to Pacific Ocean, and this is the direction. Panama Canal, most of the oil that passes through the canal is headed for the US, and then second floor, then, you know, there is then Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Malacca, Bab el-Mandeb, Turkish Straits. These are the points you have to mark in your map also, like, you know, Strait of Hormuz, Suez Canal, Turkish Straits, then Strait of Malacca, and then there is Panama Canal. These are the regions that you have to remember, and look at the direction how international trade is passing through. Most of the passing through the Straits of Hormuz goes to Japan, India, and China. Heavy traffic here, so that is why this is the direction. This is the, you know, diversion of the international trade further. Also in the Suez Canal, the attacks of Houthi, etc., is diverting the international trade route to Cape of Good Hope. So these are this kind of map. You should keep it in your mind and mark in your map also then and there while you read such articles. Let's look at a question that you can see based on this article and see what kind of questions can be asked. Read this question. Indian Ocean region is important for Indian security. In light of this, discuss India's policy of security and growth for all in the region. Sagar for Io or island. So in this, what is the demand of the question? Introduction, you have to write in contextual introduction, write about Sagar in introduction, and then in the body you can write about how Indian Ocean region is important for Indian security. Then you have to discuss India's policy of security and growth for all in the region, Sagar for IOR island, and then in conclusion you can write some way forward. So this is how this kind of question can be expected from such issues in the articles. So these were the 4 articles that had to be discussed in today's newspaper. This is all for today. Keep reading. I'll see you in next discussion of DNA analysis. All the best and Tathastu.